Yo, what's going on, everybody? CollisionWorks here. Welcome to our first guide of Madden 26. Today, boys, we're going to be breaking down the Bills' offense. It's a very familiar look to what we've seen in the past, but it's got a better U trips now. So it's trips tight end, Y off close, or normal Y off close, rather, and bunch tight end. Really good playbook. I don't know if I'm going to fully commit to it. So if you guys see, I might do another video on it, but if I change it up, don't be surprised. I just wanted to get something out early that I knew worked and have you guys something that you can start off with in case you're struggling on offense. I've noticed a lot of people are saying they're struggling on defense, which is pretty normal. But this year I've seen people that are saying that they're struggling on offense too. So I thought, let me go ahead and just put out what I know works, what I've been using the last 2 days. I wanted to make sure I at least got at least 10 games, 15 games on it so I could stress test it. I think it's good. I think you guys will like it. So let's go ahead and begin. We're going to go ahead and start here, boys, with just showing my audibles. I like to have Scat in my audible sheet, like cross slot post, double post, and Y option wheel. For this breakdown, though, we'll go ahead and start here with tight end whip. I do like my trips on the far side of the field. And I'll go ahead and run this with the safety, depth, close, and pinch, because that's probably what you'll see the most online. So we'll go ahead and just talk about cover four probably the most. We'll talk about man at the end of the video, but I think cover four just kind of tells you everything you need to know. It's pretty much what most guys run. And it runs pretty much the same as cover three if you're doing the setups right. You'll be able to beat both. So we'll talk about cover four. So here to begin, tight end whip, boys. What we're going to do for this play is we're going to go put our X receiver on an out route. Because he's pretty much a slot receiver in this set, based off where he's positioned, we'll get this speed out. It's not going to be like the complete, cut of the out routes if you guys see here on B. So we still get the speed out, which is really nice. We like these a lot. Last year they did remove them from like the outside players, but we still get it here, which is great. Gonna go ahead and streak RB, and then the running back, you guys can leave him on the out route if you want, or you guys can put him on a table. You want to put him on an in route, you can. It's completely up to you. If they are like mixing in man coverage and you want to, like if your opponent has his responsibility on your running back, you can mix this up. But I'll just put him on a table for now. So against cover four, fellas, obviously the left side purple is going to drop back for that out route, so we're going to go ahead and hit our running back. But if they were to play cover four hard flats, that out route is going to be right there for you. And honestly, real quick, I'm just going to go ahead and turn on my other controller so we can just replicate that so you guys can see it live. Bring him over. And then on the next play, we'll have it. We'll talk about the other routes in the meantime. I will say, guys, it doesn't really happen in game, but sometimes in practice mode, the tight end can get bumped. It can happen in game. If that's happening to you really consistently, you can always bring down this zig to kind of avoid the defensive end. But I like this zig as an underneath option if they are running the purples. You can run an out route if you want. Sometimes these zigs, though, they're just a little slower, which kind of has those purples drop back a little further. And I like it. It kind of just gives me a little bit of time to let the play develop. Now, like we were saying earlier, if they were to play a hard flat here, like so, we can go ahead and hit our out route, snap the ball here. See, he goes underneath. We hit our out route here. Really, really good against zone coverage. And, depending on where their user's going, if we keep hitting this out route and we see that they want to start switch sticking over to that side, that's when this B receiver is going to kind of get a little more open towards the middle of the field. When their user gets a little lax here on the right side, that's when we can go ahead, step up, and make this throw right here down the middle. And just want to make sure we possession catch that. So, obviously, like I said, I know I'm repeating myself, but it's very important just to watch where the user's going when you're making this throw. Make sure you guys are taking the underneath when it's there, and then kind of building up to that point where you guys can hit that post. With U-trips, it's a very short throw style, so, we got to make sure we take the underneath and work, the deeper throws into our offense. So I'll go ahead and just hit the out route one more time, and they went ahead and played the purple. So I'll go ahead and step up because I was expecting my out route, and I didn't do hard flat. But anyway, boys, that is it for trips tight end. I will say, actually, like before we move on, if there ever is like a situation, drags have been really good for about a decade. If you want to incorporate a drag with like the same setup, you guys can always just bring this guy over and do something like this. If you want him to stay, if you want the running back to be on the flat, you can always do these things. It's pretty much the same exact play. We're just changing up the roles. And this can really help open things up as well. And then we have our drag underneath instead. So just know little things like that where we basically have the same exact play, but we're changing up our look, can get the defense in a different setup, and then we can still have that same effectiveness. So just keep that in mind as I talk about these different plays. We can always motion people over and have that same design, but with a different set. So let's go ahead and move on. All right, boys. So up next, as we're talking about zone, I want to go ahead and mention Scat, as Scat is one of my, it's probably been one of my favorite plays for the last 4 years. This wheel route by the running back is one of the best wheels in the game, and I don't say that lightheartedly. This is a phenomenal route. Now, a very easy way we can set this up is just going to be to put our tight end on out route and then streak B. Like we were saying earlier, if you feel like this out route is running too quick to the sideline, you want it to develop a little slower, you can always put him on a zig, and you'll have, just a little slower route running, which can be good for creating spacing. Okay, but for this play, guys, if they are not in hard flats, you're going to snap, throw right to the flat. You're going to get probably 7 or 8 yards every single time. It's an absolute gimme. And now that baseline isn't in the game anymore, or at least it's a little tougher to do, this is going to be a phenomenal play for us. I talk about this play at least at the start of every single year because it is one of the easiest plays to run. Great quick snap play, and just very, very effective. Now, like I was saying here on the right side of the field, if we want, we got to watch out for their switch stick, but if we want to try and step up and throw that corner out, this is going to be a great play for us, especially if they're running hard flats. So if they want to go ahead and shade underneath, snap the ball here, step up, make this throw. Obviously, watch out for the switch stick. But listen, if they want to play off, they want to play in that purple, we're just going to go ahead, hit our out route or our zig, whatever you want to put your tight end on. That's going to be an option for us. Hit this right there. Right there, you guys see in practice, the tight end will just run into the defensive end, and that time I didn't even get a pass rush off the right side. So you're not really going to see that in game, but don't mind that. But that is pretty much it for Scat. Very simple, just quick play. If you want this to develop, then we can go pass lead this to the left. Once that purple gets to the sideline, that will be there. And if they were to even, I'll show you this wheel with a hard flat. Sometimes you can just throw this table route by the running back or the wheel, even with a hard flat. It just doesn't really matter when they're in this type of set where that purple is kind of sitting more up in the box. Obviously, if they're changing their defense and they're pressing and they're bringing people down manually, that changes the game, of course. But for a quick snap aspect of it, or for that purpose, it's a really, really good play. And I can't recommend Scat enough. It's an absolutely phenomenal play. With this in mind, kind of talking about what we were mentioning earlier with the running back moving, I like to do that for Scat as well. But for this play, we're kind of, it's going to be a complete new look. It's not going to be similar to what we were running with the previous form of Scat. But for this setup, we're going to bring our running back over and put him on a table. We're going to put this X receiver on a deep cross. And then we're just going to go ahead and streak RB and then put our tight end on a corner. We want the tight end on the corner and not B or RB because we're going to get that tight end corner, which is a shorter running route. It's just nicer. It's better against man than a slot corner or anything like that, at least when we're hot routing to it. This could be a nice play to mix in as, the game's going on. Maybe they're playing zone coverage, but they're putting some man adjustments throughout their, linebackers and things like that. So just something I like to have where, if they were to man somebody up, now we can bring, the running back over. We still have our drag underneath as a nice little safety, dump off. And if they want to, play the drag underneath and they have their user playing down, we're going to have that crosser over the top to penalize a user playing too low. So if this Ray Lewis card kind of goes down a bit, we're going to see if Ray Lewis was down here, I have a nice little pocket right here with 7. And then, I also have my tight end here against the cover 4 where I have a high-low with a table route. So it's a nice play. I like to keep, for the most part, a drag pretty much on every single play, just because, like I was mentioning earlier, you kind of have to do it with this offense because it's just how this formation's run. It's very West Coast style. It's dink and dunk, and then you kind of, level up into the deeper throw as you learn your opponent's defense. So again, we just have an underneath option, and then we're still just running a flood over the top as well. And of course, boys, listen, it's kind of hard to show, here in a video, but we have to watch out for the switch stick. But I also want you guys to know, just because switch stick is a thing, don't be discouraged to run these crossers or these corners and flood concepts. I feel like a lot of guys do that because they feel like switch stick is so OP. Guys, not everybody knows how to switch stick, to be honest with you. So don't completely shy away from zone beating concepts just because that option is there for your opponent on defense. They're still very, very good, and you still need to apply them or you're going to get your butt whooped. So again, this is the play. I'm going to go ahead and call a timeout here because I don't need to show it anymore. Really like this play. And listen, real quick, I will snap it. Watch RB. If you see that they make contact here, dump it off to the running back, man. Dump it off and get that guaranteed 5 yards because we see that purple can't play this running back when he makes that contact with the slot when he's in that purple. So, if they're not, using that area of the field or they don't have a man assignment on there, pretty much going to be golden. So just keep that in mind. Alrighty, guys. Now, real quick, I do want to mention cover two, as cover two has been it's been a lot more popular since CFB dropped, and we're seeing it as well in Madden. So I'm going to go ahead and do Tampa 2 here. I'll run this out of tight end whip, but it's kind of up to you on how you want to run it. It really doesn't matter what play you pick. But to start, guys, I'm going to talk about two ways we can beat it, like deeper. This isn't going to be like a one-play touchdown. We're not doing that, but we are going to be able to get big chunk yards. For this, what I want to do is I want to go block my running back. I want to drag my tight end, put my X receiver on a short cross, okay? This is really just to keep the user down in the middle of the field. Now, what we're going to do is go ahead streak RB, then we're going to put our B receiver on a sluggo. Now, if you don't like this, I'll show you guys in a moment another way we can run it. But this sluggo can do a really good job at just sitting for a second, letting RB pull that deep half further over the top. Then we can go ahead and turn on the accelerator and go upfield with our sluggo and then get right over top of the cloud. So really what we're looking for is this right here, right there, accident, or unfortunately got hit as we threw. But this can be a really good play, just kind of mixing in, especially with your blocked running back. Get yourself a little bit more time. And then we just throw this right here. And if this isn't your thing, right there, typically, I want to wait a little longer to let that play develop. But if it's not your thing, I'll show you guys another method we can do here. I'm going to show this just one more time. I may not like be completely sold. This is kind of just something I like to run early because I've had some success with it. But if you would rather have something deep down the middle, by all means run that. I will say sometimes these B posts, like just the hot route, they kind of run a little short. So if you want something a little deeper, maybe you can go to PA fork just to give you guys like an idea. That's going to be Y here on the offensive play chart. But we're going to do this again here with Tampa 2. And I'll show you guys what we can run here is like RB on a slot fade. That's going to be the left trigger adjustment. And then sometimes this B post, this kind of S route can be a little long to run. So if you want to stem him down one D pad, by all means, you can do that. And then we can kind of do this same look. But the thing about running a setup like this is sometimes you need something vertical on the left side to go ahead and take care of that half. So you may need to run, I just don't know. I don't run this setup, but in case that sluggo and streak isn't your thing, I want you guys to know you can also run something like this. So I don't really have a setup for this variant just because I don't choose to run it like this. I just want you to know it is an option. But if we just have a little bit of time here to throw this ball, we can go ahead and just throw this over the top. You guys see that I think it's called the rec hook. I can't think of it right now, but he kind of matches and shades deep down that middle and kind of plays that middle third. So it's not really my preferred way of doing it, but I still want you guys to know that's an option with that slot fade. So I don't want to drag this one on too much just because it's not really my cup of tea, but still want you guys to know it's there for you in case you need it. You know, I've had to run this and I've had success with it like that. You know, not everybody has a blazing fast middle linebacker to get there. You know, of course you can put a safety in, but still you can just kind of beat them over the top. So hopefully you guys found that useful. I want to move on from this one, but still wanted you guys to have it just in case. All right, guys, up next, I want to talk about Y option against zone coverage. This isn't like my favorite setup, but it was very, very popular last year, so I feel like we need to cover it. Typically, what we would have saw in Madden 25 was just a tight end on a corner, and then people would just quick snap it as is. That way you have your RB, and then you have your A tight end that you can freeform up, as I'm just getting shedded like crazy. But I mean, this is a fine setup. You know, if you have somebody who's really adjusty and you just want to try and get the ball off quick, like I understand, I would try and do something where, like I said, I'm very biased to having something coming short across the middle. So I would do something like this typically where I have that drag. But, you know, when we do stuff like that, we're letting that purple, you know, more freely go upfield to guard the corner route. So with a play like this, I don't think I'd run it as a quick snap play. Of course, there's going to be times where I do, but I would much rather lean into what we were talking about earlier, where I can go ahead and bring this running back over, go ahead and put him on a table route. Then again, I have that flood, I have that drag. We kind of already ran this play, you know, but if this is a better play for you to do it, dude, I'm getting absolutely shedded, brother. Practice mode is crazy. It's actually crazy. But, you know, I just want you guys to know this is here for you. And you might like this play better. You know, and if they want to switch stick and go upfield, we hit our running back. We avoid users, we throw what's given to us, and make a play out of it. So this play's here for you, boys. You know, not my favorite play, but you know, for the quick snap, part of it. I will say real quick though, before we move on, if your tight end is getting jammed in game, which I don't really think is going to happen to you, just stem him down once, like we were talking about earlier with the zig. Sometimes this is all you need. Now, this will kind of lean him more into getting covered by the purple, but there might be a situation, maybe against man, where you still just need that help, and then you can go throw it up here. But this is kind of a niche scenario, so just keep this in mind as you're going forward. But still want you guys to know if they're doing something and manipulating the tight end with the D line interaction, you might just need to stem him up one or maybe down one, and just kind of experiment with that and see where you find success. So, alrighty, guys, and then real quick before we move on to man coverage, I just want to talk about some stuff that I feel like I kind of glimpsed over, and it's really just beating these zone coverages. Now for this, guys, like we were saying earlier, we don't always need to fear switch stick. We can still run things across the field and attack the sideline. So I want to talk about that here. We mentioned the out routes earlier. This is a great way to beat deep zone coverages. Comebacks are also very, very good against deep zone coverages if we want to run something like this, where we can attack the outside on both sides of the field. This kind of segment of the video, I just want you guys to kind of have a kind of a template that says, oh, okay, these routes can beat cover 4. And if whatever you're seeing here is also going to beat cover 3 without a doubt, because cover 4 in football games is just a better version of cover 3, to be honest. So, just know you guys can run something like this where you can have a post running across the middle and a comeback where, you kind of have your options here. Go to hit B. And then if that RB receiver is still pulling up the outside quarter, by all means, you can hit that. This is just going to be kind of opponent dependent here. I'll go block the running back. We can go ahead and hit our B receiver, try and step up here, go ahead throw our post route. We miss them, unfortunately. But I just kind of want to, highlight that if you're struggling against these zone coverages, and I know this might be pretty simple for some of you guys, but use the pulling routes, get those deep zones back further, attack the sidelines because that's where these things are vulnerable. Don't be afraid to run a crossing route across the field, from RB like this, and then just have, a flood. If you want to run this at a scat, we can do that. We just need to make sure that we're not holding on to it so long that we, are letting our wheel run into that crosser. But just know, right here, we could have hit Y, let the play develop, then we have a high-low with RB and B, and then we can attack here. They can't switch stick that much, dude. We're going to be in good hands. So, I just more so want you guys to have just a little area of this video that shows these out routes, these speed outs win against zone, the deep zones, that is, the comebacks win against zone, the pulling routes mixed with a crosser or a corner, something like this is going to beat it. We just want to get zones away from people we want to get open. And then we also want to beat those weak points of defenses like the out routes, like the corners, or like the underneath on the drags that I like to run to beat somebody's user. We want to make sure we keep those in our plays. That way, if we have a drag coming across the field and then we have a post above that, the user can only play one of them, dude. He really can. Now, if we want that post to have success, we're going to also want to give him some help with the pulling route. That way, this streak here by RB is going to pull that safety upfield. That way, we can throw that later into the right side of the field where that RB is pulling that safety and that corner, and then we can, let X get a little more loose and have more field to work with. So hopefully that helps somebody out there. I hope it does, but I'm going to go ahead and move on to man coverage and lean into wrapping up the video. But hopefully you guys enjoyed that. And if you guys have any questions, please just let me know in the comments or over on the Discord. You guys can hit me up. So let's go ahead and move on to man coverage. Alrighty, fellas. So to start with man coverage, I want to go ahead and talk about cover 2 man, as right now I feel like mid blitz is honestly kind of getting walked over, and that's good. So we'll obviously still talk about beating that, but to start, I want to talk about coverage man, which is still, I think, shining pretty good for defensive players. So we need to discuss it. I'm going to go ahead and run our double post. This is going to be on the X side, or the X play, left side of the sheet against cover 2 man. And fellas, for this play, all we're going to do is go ahead and bring our RB player over. We're going to go ahead and put our running back on a table, and then we're just going to go ahead and you can put RB on a drag if you want, or you can just stem this route down. It's kind of up to you. I would go ahead and just redrag him if you have the time. But really, guys, what we're looking for here is just our guaranteed separations. We have a post here by B. We have our drag underneath. We have the tight end on kind of the speed in. which can do pretty good against man coverage. And because we're going up against this cover 2 man, we know that they're not going to be absolutely screaming at us. You know, they might have a Texas 4 man that has good pressure if they're in a 4 down lineman set, but or 4 D line set. But all in all, we have some pretty good man beating routes here. So we can go and snap the ball. We see A does a great job beating his defender. Obviously, we need to watch out for the user in that area of the field. That's why we want to kind of get the running back going out, because that's usually where you're going to see the opponent's user playing. Now, sometimes, listen, this route does get caged, the A receiver. So we got to make sure we have other routes available to us. Hopefully, RB can get some separation here. He does. We go ahead and touch pass it, try and make a move. We get absolutely caged. But it's just things like this. I will mention, cover 2 man, it has a stock inside shade, and I also want to say it has a stock underneath shade. I think it's underneath and inside, so just keep that in mind. You can even see the inside shade here by the DB playing over X. You see he's got that inside positioning. So somebody like B, listen, man, he might get bagged. Not all the time, though, because speed against man coverage in this game is absolutely huge. So, you know, if you just want to, if you see their press like this, and you just want to go ahead and stem that post all the way up so he's basically on just a go route without that outside step, by all means do it. I mean, you're going to absolutely torch this guy in man coverage. Now, with this in mind, we got to remember that they do have a deep half on that side of the field. So listen, bro, you might have to sacrifice, you know, somebody to help you beat this guy. If that is the case, maybe you go and put your tight end here on a drag, do a little, you know, Texas route. We snap the ball, and then we go ahead and, you know, try and attack either side. Right there, our post actually gets open, even though they had the inside shade. Sometimes, guys, it's just man coverage can be inconsistent, but we can still beat it. Doesn't always matter. But I will say, before I wrap this up, the short crossers are really good routes to beat man coverage, even though they have an inside shade. So I'll go ahead and run something like this with like a zig and a short crosser. And we'll just look at these two routes. I'll put my running back on a wheel, but I'm not like sold on that. I just want you guys to watch A and RB. So right here, short cross absolutely cooks them. You know, we're assuming that the user is going to be playing that running back, and we can hit the middle of the field. You know, if we want to go ahead and put the running back over here, do something like this, right? Go put B on that post to go ahead and get him to pull that deep half. If they have a sleepy user, fellas, and we have that wheel where I got this budget beast Brown. Oh, that was a terrible free form. I meant to do it on the inside. But we kind of have a two-way there where wherever that safety is going, we can just throw to the other side. So like right here, I'm talking about a sleepy user. I have a sleepy freeform. That's wide open. This guy's wide open. Now, if they were to have this guy in an inside quarter, well, this is no longer open. But, I mean, listen, if they got Ray Lewis is a dog. But more often than not, in game, these running backs are going to burn on these wheel routes, just like, you know, in game, this Xavier Worthy, and I know you know he's good because he's burned your ass too. He's burned us all. This guy's going to absolutely dominate on a go route because he's got like 5 speed against everybody. But here in practice mode, it just doesn't work. If I were to put him on a streak, he's going to get caged every single time by his man defender. I'm not even looking at the safety, but just know, we know what Worthy can do. We need to know also that practice mode just plays differently than the game. But I think if you guys just keep this in mind, where if you guys know they're playing 2-man, we're running stuff like this. We're moving this running back around to keep their user in check while still working around it. We're going to be in good shape, dude. We're going to be in really good shape. And I could have hit my tight end earlier, you know. Cover 2-man is not impossible. It's just, it's good coverage. I mean, man coverage is the best coverage in the game if you have the guys that can do it. I think I mean that more like in football. It's, the man coverage is not as good as it was in years past here in Madden, but it's still really, really good, and we can't sleep on it. Now, for mid blitz, I'm going to kind of cheat a little bit, but this is only for a moment, okay? Against mid blitz, fellas, just go over here to trips tight end and then run half or quarterback zone. Right here, QB zone. I know that I have Baker Mayfield. It's not like as fair because I have like a faster quarterback. But guys, I mean, this is just like way too good. This is just way too good. I mean, that's like 6 yards right there, guaranteed. And that safety is supposed to be like playing inside. So this guy's supposed to be down here. Okay, here we go. Have him sit right there. Now we're off to the races. You know, and if you got to go down, man, go down. If you don't have Baker, you're a little slower, just go down, dude. You're still going to get good yards. So if somebody's spamming mid-blitz against you, Collision just gave you a free play. It's on the house, boys. Don't worry. And we don't charge here. Isn't that awesome? You guys have a nice little YouTube channel that doesn't charge you for shit? I love that new drop-down animation, too. That stuff's goated. Anyway, let's go ahead and go back to U-trips here because that is kind of the focus on this video. I just wanted you guys to have a run play there. And get ready. We're going to be talking about trips tight end later as well, but I just wanted to throw that in while we're here. But for zero, boys, what we can do is I would go ahead and stay in I would stay in double post because I really like this fade with X. And I'll sit here and I'll go ahead and bring this guy back down. I'm also going to press just so we have that. So like so. Now really, guys, all we're going to be doing, we're going to go ahead and block our running back. And then we're going to go ahead and drag the tight end. We're going to go ahead and put RB on a corner. You can put him on a short cross if you want. I'm just giving you guys a different play here. Then what's very important is we need to base protect our play. As you guys see right here, this play comes with a stock slide protection. And then we have that left side edge rusher. He's hot. So he's going to get through free basically. So we got to make sure we hit LB. We go down on left stick, but we don't want to let go of LB, okay? Now we're in the base protection. Now we select Y to untarget, and then you're going to have this hot icon. We're going to put that on the opponent's user who's sitting over the offensive line. That way our O-line says we don't need to worry about him. He'll be fine. This is kind of going to be one of our plays here that can really cook man. Just like we were talking about earlier, you know, we can go ahead. If we can survive for a moment, we can throw this comeback route. He just got caged, brother. He just got caged. But it's not always consistent. Don't worry about it. We'll run it again. I think I even threw it a little too early to give myself a little benefit of the doubt. But I mean, to be honest, boys, if they're playing this, you just got to hit your streak on the left. I'm kind of just showing you guys some other stuff you can run. But here you go. Here's your play. I'm actually going to make sure my running back is blocked. I don't want him on a check and release. Right there. I mean, X deep fries. Right there. Our comeback. I could have done a little better of a freeform there. I didn't player lock, so I don't know if he actually burned him or for the game automatically kind of did a poor job at switch sticking. I'll show it one more time. But again, fellas, just keep that same philosophy we were talking about with cover 2 man. We're still, you know, running man-beating concepts. But a little something like this. Show you guys this comeback again. Snap the ball. Let the comeback. Comebacks are really good CFB for man coverage. They are good here in Madden, just not as good at separating. But, you know, like I said, if you guys want to block the tight end, right? We can do something like this. We can block the tight end, bring the running back over, do that base protection, make sure we unmark the DB there, run something like this. One thing we need to remember, though, because we block the tight end, there's going to be a middle third on the field. Cannot stress that enough. There will be a middle third on the field because that safety doesn't have anywhere else to play. But that's not always a problem. X there got wide open. And then, you know, if we got the burners over the top, we can go and hit our wheel. Madden does a little bit better of a job at swatting it and picking it. But still, for the most part, boys, I don't think you guys are going to have trouble with man coverage as much as you think. If I did a poor job, please just let me know. I'm going to leave this as is. If you guys need more help, just send me a message. I have no problem sending you guys more videos if you need it. I just don't want this video to drag on too much longer. But I feel like that's going to do a good job for you. I think the QB run out of trips is going to do a good job for you. This route absolutely fries. Oh, dude, did he switch stick to it? That glitch is so dumb. But this fade is so good. And if you guys have the free worthy, you can put him here. You're going to be okay. You're really going to be absolutely fine. The short crosser does a great job because we got to remember this guy is kind of going to be all over the field. So if we got to change up who we throw it to, it's not going to be a problem for us. Where did that free defender go? Oh, he went for the running back. Oh, they don't drop back in middle thirds anymore? No, the more you know. Hey, boys, we learned something. But, boys, I think I'll go ahead and end that here for man coverage and the zone. I'll show you guys something real quick, just some red zone. You'll probably see more of it in the future videos because I'm still kind of tinkering with red zone, but I'll leave you guys here with Y off trio. This is not the X off close, it just looks like it. So come over 2 slides. We're going to run this actually on the short side of the field, okay? So we'll go ahead and do, I'll show you guys cover 2 and cover 3, and then I'll show you guys what we can do against man coverage. So I'll start here with Tampa 2. I'll go ahead and bring this up because, like I said, this is kind of if we're real close to the goal line. If you guys are in the red zone, like 15 yards, you guys could probably run everything we just talked about for the most part until you get this close. Before this, fellas, I'm actually going to back it up a little bit. I'll do it like that. I think that's a good spot. Try and make this look a little better. But, yeah, guys, all we're going to do is just put the tight end here on a wheel, put your running back on a Texas, and this is pretty much the play. Now, for this, typically the vertical hook on the left side would guard the the kind of stop and go by Worthy, but this slant is going to do a good job pulling him in. Now, when we snap this ball, we always need to catch with a possession every single time. You cannot rack this, not unless you're. Yeah, no, we're possessioning it every single time. So again, it's just a wheel, a Texas. I don't know what to put B on yet. To be completely honest with you, but we're just throwing this right here, possession it. Hey, now we're at the 1. Now we can run the ball. We can change it up, but for the most part, you're kind of going to get in within 5 yards, I'd say. So this is it. You know, if they bring one of these guys over, let's say they user one of these guys, you can always just like throw your Texas here and then just possession. It's a good play, man. I'll show you guys it against cover 3 real quick, and then we'll go ahead and end it. Just because I don't want to take up your guys' time. I want to try and get us out of here. That way we can keep playing, brother. Snap this ball against cover 3. Same look. A little easier. Listen, if they are in cover 3, go ahead, rack it, man. Go get 7. But against cover 2, or if you just don't know, please, just possession. We want to make sure we're not dropping these passes. So again, I'll show it against cover 3. Snap the ball. Let him go. Beautiful. And if you guys want, I'll make it real quick. I'll go and show it against cover 4. Then we'll go ahead and call it. And I'll be working on trips tight end and bunch tight end here probably a little bit tonight. And then we'll call it. Oh, no, I gotta show you guys man coverage too. Okay, I'm sorry. I just want to hop in a game, bro. I want to get this video done. I want to play. But against cover 4, same thing. And listen, guys, if it's not there, throw it away, man. Don't force nothing. But there you go. Same thing against cover 4. Your Texas is there too. Just a good play. And Scat is like phenomenal as well. Like we can run Scat as well against like these zone coverages. If you want like the underneath, a little quick throw to the running back, and then try and tuck in there, get 7. Really good play. But I want you guys to focus on the previous play we just talked about. But real quick, against man coverage, we're going to go to trips tight end. I know I'm cheating. It's not exclusively U-trips, but that's why we have a playbook. I'll just do mid blitz because that's like pretty common. I like to run this with trips on the far side. I mean, that's kind of up to you. You don't have to. I just prefer it. But against 0 guys, I just like a drag and a short cross. Obviously, we want time. So if you really need to block somebody, you can just go ahead base protect here and then just motion waddle and then snap it right before the left tackle. And then he'll get the job done for you. Right there, my tight end just got chucked like crazy. So we'll go ahead and run it back. But this is it. Just a short cross too. Bring this guy over. Oh, I didn't press. That's okay. Yeah, he's getting chucked like wild. But still not a huge problem. Typically, he doesn't get that jammed. And you're not going to see that in game. In fact, you know what? I'll go ahead and just bring this guy out a little bit. That way you can see what this route actually does. User's always going to come down here, probably going to press. It's going to look like this. Then we can go ahead and just put this guy here. If you need to, you can also just bring this dude over as well. Put him on like an out route. Sometimes I do that just to kind of give myself a little more breathing room with the tight end on the drag. But you're just going to throw this like here and then go ahead and get, you know, that easy touchdown. You guys have probably seen this in my last 2 gameplays. This is just what I run. Very, very simple against man coverage. Not a whole lot to it. And sometimes you can just put X here on like an inside route, and that can do the job for you as well. If you need to block your running back, I get it. That's fine. You run something like this. Snap the ball. We got B here. And then, you know, depending on where that user's going, you can also hit your inside running route as well. He probably got bagged here, but sometimes, man, he just gets open. Yeah, kind of gets a little caged, but you know, sometimes it's an option. You know, if this user is all the way on the right side, you know, we can just kind of potentially fit that in. I mean, he's kind of got his himself covered, so not the best play in the world, but I like it. I like this play. I run it a lot, so I want you guys to know what I'm running. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it, boys. I'm gonna stem this guy down. Does he cook like that? He kind of cooks like that, but the swats in this year's game are crazy. But yeah, boys, I think I'm gonna call it there. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Let me know what you guys want next. Trips tight end or bunch? I might have already made it, so I'm sorry if you comment bunch tight end and I like post a trips tight end right in front of your face. I already made it. Also, if you're in the red zone and you see they're in mid blitz, please like just run with the QB. It's easy 7. So God bless you all. I love you, boys. I'm so excited for this year. I'm happy. This game, I'm liking it. I'm excited to play it. Excited to make more videos. Appreciate all your guys' support in these videos. Let's have a great season, boys. Thanks for watching. Peace.